Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning. My name is Zahratun Nupus. Today, I would like to present my thesis, and the title is The Correlation Between Students' Learning Style and Their Reading Comprehension Achievement at English Language Education Study Program of Lambung Mangkurat University, Banjarmasin, batch 2019. Next is Chapter 1, Background of the Teaching. To learn something new in the classroom, students have different ways. Some students can understand better by seeing a direct demonstration from the lecturer, and the other students say to prefer to learn by listening carefully to the teacher who talks about information. The way of each student responding to new information in the context of learning is many people call learning style. Language learners can plan and manage their language learning activity. It will make them easier to learn by themselves. It is claimed that learning styles influence learner ability to acquire information and respond to the learning environment. And next is research question. Based on the background of study, the research problem is how significant is the correlation between students' learning style and their reading comprehension achievement of English Language Education Study Program at Lambung Mangkurat University, batch 2019. The next is objective of study. The objective of the study is to find out the significance level of the correlation between students' learning style and their reading comprehension achievement of English Language Education Study Program at Lambung Mangkurat University, Banjarmasin. Next is hypothesis. Null hypothesis is there is no significant correlation between students' learning style and their reading comprehension achievement. And then alternative hypothesis is there is a significant correlation between student learning style and their reading comprehension achievement. The next is significance of the study. The result of this research will be reported in a written form. It is expected to give some positive effects to any side, such as theoretical significance and practical significance. And the scope of the research. This research discusses students' learning style and their reading comprehension achievements. And number two, the subjects of this research are students of English Language Education Study Program, batch 2009. And the location of this research is in Lambung Mangkurat University, Banjarmasin. And next is chapter 2, review of literature. Learners' learning style are a combination of how they absorb and then organize and process information. There are three types of learning style. First is visual learning style. Is a learning style that vision has an important role. And number two, auditory learning style is a learning style that controls the hearing to be able to understand and remember information. And next is kinesthetic learning style has to touch something that provides certain information to remember it. And next is reading comprehension. Uh, Reading comprehension is the ability to read text, process it, and understand its meaning. The term comprehension strategies are sometimes used to refer to the process of reasoning. And the next learning style on reading comprehension. There are some assumptions of students' learning style which are related to their reading comprehension. Number one is visual learning style in reading refers to a preference for learning through vision, and visual learners rely on their sight to take the information. Number two, auditory learners in reading tend to like replays and dialogues. And three, kinesthetic learners in reading tend to like read books and action-oriented books. And next is chapter 3, method of research. This study used a quantitative approach. The research design that used in this study was correlative. The research used quantitative research to obtain the significance of the relationship between two variables that are student learning styles and their reading comprehension achievement. And next is variable. In this research, all of them are independent variables, and there are two variables that are student learning style and their reading comprehension achievement. And the next is population. The population in this research are English Language Education Study Program at Lambung Mangkurat University, batch 2019, because they have criteria that the researchers meet. And next is sample. The research the researchers took 100% of respondents, or 84 students in all advanced reading classes, because the population are not bigger than 100 respondents. The researchers used total sampling to select research respondents. And the next is the instrument is used in collecting data are reading comprehension tests and questionnaire. Reading tests use the multiple choice reading test TOEFL like consists of 50 items, and questionnaire consists of 21 items. There are 7 items for each kind of learning style. And here are the indicator of learning styles questionnaire as shown on the table. The questionnaire used is a Likert scale from 5 points of scale ranking are used. They are strongly agree, neutral, disagree, and strongly disagree. And next is validity. In determining the validity of the instrument, the researcher took several considerations. First, the test was based on frequently used TOEFL tests, as suggested by the expert validator. Second, the questionnaire was adapted from Joy M. Raid in Sari Febrianti questionnaire, which means that it had been approved and frequently used by the other researchers. And next is reliability. In determining the reliability of instruments, researchers also took several considerations as suggested by the expert validator. There are 50 test items, and the question of reliability depends on the history of its usage, as it was used with some previous researchers. And the next is technique of collecting data. In collecting the data, questionnaires and reading comprehension tests are used. The first step is distributing adopted questionnaires to respondents, and then the following step was reading comprehension tests. And next is statistical hypothesis. The hypothesis with significant or tailored to value of 0.05 was formulated. The criteria of the hypothesis are: no hypothesis is accepted if probably significant to tailored value more than 0.05. An alternative hypothesis is accepted if probably significant or to tailored value less than 0.05. And next is technique of data analysis. Researchers use the statistical method to analyze the data because this research aims to measure the correlation between students' learning style and their reading comprehension achievement. To analyze the data of the questionnaire, the researchers use the Likert scale. Then the second is descriptive and interferential statistics were used for the further analyzing score of reading comprehension. The score and simple interpretation of correlation coefficient SPSS it can see in the table. And next is chapter 4, research finding. From the table here, the result of each student learning style was known. The data showed that 9 students were visual, 32 students were auditory, and 43 students were kinesthetic. The percentage of the students' learning style are 10.7% for visual learners, 38.1% for auditory learners, and 51.2% for kinesthetic learners. It can be concluded from the from the data that most of student batch 2019 of English Language Education Study Program were kinesthetic learners. As for the reading comprehension achievement, the findings can be seen in the table here. And next is finding result. Based on the table, the researchers interpreted that there are 84 students as respondents for both student learning style and their reading comprehension achievement. The results showed that significant Tyler 2 value 0.58, then the significant Tyler 2 value was greater than 0.05. It can be concluded that null hypothesis was accepted and alternative hypothesis was rejected. Clearly, from the result, it can be said that there was no correlation of student learning style and reading comprehension. And the next is discussion. According to data analysis, student batch 2019 of English Language Education Study Program of Lambung Mangkurat University had 10.7% of students which were visual learners, then 38.1% of students were auditory learners, and 51.2% of students were kinesthetic learners. The elaborate question showed that kinesthetic learners were the highest percentage of learning styles among English education students. Hence, it can be said that student batch 2019 of English Language Education Study Program of Lambung Mangkurat University were dominated by kinesthetic learners. The data interpretation showed that student learning style didn't correlate to their reading comprehension achievement. A fifth semester student of English Language Education Study Program of Lambung Mangkurat University, batch 2019. And the last one is chapter 5, conclusion and conclusion. The study investigates the correlation between two independent variables, learning style and reading comprehension achievement in advanced reading class. The technique used was the correlation technique. The data that researchers obtained was further calculated using the Spearman correlation through SPSS 25 program. The findings showed that null hypothesis was accepted and alternative hypothesis was rejected. It means that there was no significant correlation between student learning style and student reading comprehension achievement. Alright, I think that's all my presentation today. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.